Hi, you're watching a fresh new edition of Climate Clock, and in a move towards clean energy and sustainability, BPCL will be investing 25,000 crore rupees to build renewable capacity. They will be investing in solar energy, wind energy, small hydro and biomass. Company has also entered into a JV with Solar Energy Corporation of India to install 10 gigawatt of renewable capacity. We discuss company's plans with Amit Garg, who is the Executive Director of Renewable Energy at the company. Mr. Garg, thanks a lot for joining us and discussing company's plans towards the shift towards clean energy, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much and for hosting me today. So that's the talk of the town, and I think is the way the new world has to go. And being a fossil fuel based company, I think it was imperative upon us that we move on to a journey of renewables, because we owe it to the nation and we owe it to this world that the future of energy has to be much more greener and cleaner than what we are today. So yes, you're very right. And yes, please.
Yes. So that's why first question actually, you have planned 25,000 crore worth of investment in renewable energy. What will the execution timeline look like? What are your targets? And have you already started working on it? And yes, there is a big push towards renewables. But as you said, for BPCL, since it's a fossil fuel company or an oil refiner, will the shift be easy, or you are facing some teething issues?
Well, I think our management has always been proactive, and if you ask me on a very personal basis, we were not even waiting for the various COP26 or earlier, and this journey started much earlier than what people would have thought. And our management has actually taken a call to bring up a new business unit of renewable energy. And our chairman has a stated goal of net zero in scope 1, scope 2 by 2040, and to put up 10 gigawatts of renewable energy by that period or even earlier. As an immediate plan, we are working on to put up 1,000 megawatts, which is like 1 gigawatt of renewable energy, in the next 3 to 4 years. So maybe by 25, 26, we should have our own portfolio of 1,000 megawatts of solar power largely, but also contributions from some wind power and maybe some small hydro and biomass as we go on. So that's the plan for now. And we intend to spend something like 5,000 crores or more, depending upon how the whole situation arises here.
Okay. So have you started the execution already there? Can you give us a timeline? You did say around 1,000 megawatt of renewables portfolio is what you're expecting in 3 to 4 years. By when can we see full scalability here? And will this power or will this renewable capacity be used internally, or will it be used for external sales as well?
Well, as you mentioned rightly, so initially it's going to be more for the captive consumption, as we call it. And since we were fortunate to have large parcels of land lying at our various locations, depots, and some of the refinery areas, so we have immediately started working on those. And the team is working on almost 200 megawatts of solar energy right now. And the first project should be visible maybe in 6 months from now. So you'll be happy to know that. And we already have a portfolio of around 45 megawatts of renewable energy. So that will be scaled up almost by 3 to 4 times in the next, by the end of this coming financial year. Yes.
Okay, that is very good to know that within 6 months, first plant will come up and you are actually expecting to expand it from there on. I just want to speak to you on the solar bit, because that's where most of the investment is going, right? How will you be playing this theme? Because across companies, we are seeing that they may play the entire value chain, or will you only do it via modules, panels, solar glass, or you will just culminate it to produce solar energy? What's your plan here?
So in the beginning, I mean, we are more into the last mile part of it, in terms of we would be giving it on an EPC basis, and the vendor would be putting up the solar panels and modules. So as of now, we are not really entering the manufacturing part of it, but then we are open to the idea. So as we go along, and since we have a pretty large aspiration of 10 gigawatts, so maybe in the times to come, and because of the government PLI policy and all the incentives, so we might also venture out into that area. But for this year, at least, no, we are not. We're trying to go into that. And as you know, for the captive power, no, we have refineries. So they have almost a requirement of 100 megawatts own consumption in each of the 3 refineries that we have. So I think captive power makes a lot of sense for BPCL. While we are open to the idea of open access and going out in the market and then tapping the C&I customers, as you call them, but initially I think it would be largely our own requirement to begin with. And also we are foraying into the green hydrogen part of it, which would also require a lot of solar power. And then we have plans to put a petrochemical project in the coming few years, which would also need our own captive facilities. So that's the plan for now.
Okay, so I'll come back to you in the cost saving bit that you spoke about, since it will be used for captive consumption. But this expansion that you're talking about, will it be done inorganically, or will you just see organic addition of assets? Are you looking at any further acquisitions here?
We are open to the idea of if some good assets come our way. But largely, when this journey has started, we are putting our own facilities. But if some good assets come our way, we are definitely open to the idea. And we would do the due diligence and maybe then take a conscious call as per what is on table to us. Yeah.
Okay, so just taking that forward, today we read a report that companies like Tata Power are inducting a partner for their renewable portfolio. Will you also look at the same, selling a strategic stake to a PE fund or somebody who's interested in investing in your portfolio?
Well, since we have opened up this business and we are in the process of learning and doing things pretty fast, hitting the ground as you basically open the chapter. But I think we are in touch with many players and a lot of people have approached us. But to say that we are right away getting into a partnership, we'll have to go through a process. But on a project-wise basis, depending upon who the partner is, we are open to considering a partnership on a project-wise basis, but not as a complete, a typical partnership as you were mentioning.
Okay, so we'll get to you when any update comes up on that one, Mr. Garg. But you did speak about the cost savings or refining processes needing captive power of around 100 megawatt. You're foraying into green hydrogen. The general consensus is that usage of green hydrogen will impact or will be very positive for refiners. Can you explain how will that be and what kind of cost savings are we looking at?
So there are two parts to it. One is our commitment to ourselves being a net zero by 2040, and also the commitment of the nation through the Honorable Prime Minister by 2070. So that is something which we are bound to do, and also the mandate which is expected anytime, maybe in the coming few weeks or months, which would ask all refiners to basically use a part of their hydrogen as green hydrogen. So while it is typically not about cost, because I think as a customer also I will have get used to the idea of maybe paying a little more if I'm really concerned about the future of our planet and the future of our children. So it's not just like that we will keep polluting our environment and we will keep talking about cost. And also the fact that a large section of people who are into this business, they very strongly feel that as we move on, the cost of production is going to come down drastically. So now while people talk about $5 to $6, so we are expecting that it should come down to $3 pretty soon. And then as many people have already put their plans at the table, saying that it might come to sub $2 also. And if it comes to that, then we are a happy lot. So then we are typically, not really getting out of pocket in a big way. So yes, so it's not about cost saving at all. I think it's about a commitment. It's about our mandate, which is going to come. And it's about how we think the world has to move on if we have to really make our planet cleaner.
No, I do get your point, but it's just an additional benefit, right? Since you're talking about green hydrogen costs coming down, it would, of course, help clean the environment and also lead to cost savings. So that's where my question was coming in from. But we've spoken about solar energy. We have been speaking about wind energy, but biomass and hydropower, we'd not talk about a lot of investments being made here. Can you explain to us the opportunity and what are your plans, particularly in the hydropower space? Because there, the contribution has been coming down in the overall power sector.
Well, we'll talk about the hydropower first, and we are already in touch with some of the Himalayan states, and the talks are on. We are about to sign a MOU with the state of some of these states in the north. And basically, what we are looking at is small hydro to begin with, because large hydro has its own shares of issues. And while that is also supposed to be a renewable power, but I think we are kind of venturing out into a small hydro. And something should come up in the near future once we have done our MOU. So we'll come and share with you definitely. Regarding the biomass, the potential for our country is huge. I think there are issues related to the cost of the project where a lot of people who are holding the LOIs. So they are now in the process of getting the loans from the banks, which is kind of getting delayed a little. And also the aggregation part of it. So I think some of these states in the north have been really helping us. The state of Haryana has come out forward and they are kind of allocating land parcels for this aggregation of the agriculture waste or residue, as we call it. So there's definitely a future, and the government also has taken a lot of decisions in terms of kind of giving a guarantee for the equipment of the gas which is going to be produced. And also they have, in a way, helped the companies also that this extra additional cost which might come will be kind of shared. So that's the kind of planning which is being done. And I think already a lot of work has been done in the last 2-3 years. Now you will quickly see some gains coming up in the next maybe 24 months or so.
Okay, that is really good to hear, Mr. Garg. Thank you so much for joining us and explaining to us what BPCL's plans are towards the clean and green energy space. And we'll keep hearing from you as and when we get more updates. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you very much. A pleasure indeed.
All right, that's the update as far as BPCL's green plans are concerned. Good to see more corporates investing and expanding their green portfolio. With that, we take your leave on this edition of Climate Clock. Stay tuned to CNBC-TV18.